Okay, gonna get started here. Back on Zero Escape, the Nonary games. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. We are at our first major decision as far as the flowchart goes for the game. Oh wait, where's my controller? I'm using mouse for this. And we get to decide whether we're going to stick with the group's decision that I should go through door 4 or should I go through door 5. Let's go ahead and do door 5 first. We decided we're probably going to go through all the different endings of the game, just to show off what this game has to offer. So let's start here.
Hey, wait.
Junpei's cry echoed across the room. The 4 people walking toward the door stopped. Turned back toward him.
I want to go through door 5 too.
He wants to go through door 5. Let's see. The words were scarcely out of his mouth when June spoke up.
What? What are you saying, Junpei? If you're going through that door, then I'm going with you.
Well, she's insistent. He turned around to look at her.
You can't. I can't take you with me.
Why?
Well, you know what's in there, don't you? Are you sure you want to see that?
Well...
I mean, who would want to see a room full of gore and body parts? June opened her mouth as if to say something, but instead closed it again and looked at the floor. Junpei felt an ache in his chest at her clear distress, but the choice was not his to make. There was nothing else he could do. Junpei turned away from June, doing his best to silence his turbulent emotions.
Please, let me go into door 5.
Seven scratched his head and looked at the young man.
Man, now we're right back where we started, you know that?
Junpei's bracelet is number 5, right? If we are going to add Junpei, then we must subtract 5 from the rest of us.
That would be the case.
Ace,
Snake turned his.
Please, take good care of Clover.
Oh, all right. That's fine.
1 + 4 = 5.
Don't go away!
You need to listen to me, Clover. Go to door 4 with the others.
No!
Don't be so selfish.
Snake's tone was harsh.
Why?
Tears welled up in Clover's eyes. She bit her lip and did her best to fight them off. Snake's expression softened and he put his arms around Clover. He held her close and whispered into her ear.
Be fine. Just relax.
It looked as though he whispered 2 or 3 more words, but whatever they were, Junpei did not hear them.
What did he tell her?
No, something. I'm sure. I couldn't help but wonder what the other man had said. Snake pulled back from his sister, his eyes kind and inquiring.
Okay, I understand.
Her voice was barely audible from where Junpei stood. Before long, new teams were
Let's make
assembled.
sure we've got this straight. Those going to door 5 are me, 7, and Snake. 7 plus 2 plus 5 equals 14, and the digital root of 14, 1 plus 4, is 5. And those going to door 4 are Lotus, Santa, June, Ace, and Clover. 8 plus 3 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4 is 22. And the digital root of 22 is 2. We're okay with this?
No problems here.
Yes. Let's do it.
The tough guy, the blind guy, and Junpei are going into the gore room. Everybody else is going through door 4.
All right then.
Seven, Snake, and Junpei scanned their numbered bracelets in quick succession. The screen of the red showed 3
Lever's
asterisks.
all that's left. Okay. All right then. Let's go.
One second, I'll be right back.
Okay. Please be careful.
Concern was written plainly across her face. Junpei looked her in the eye and gave what he hoped was a reassuring nod. He pulled the lever. The sharp clack of the lock releasing the door swung open.
It's open.
Junpei, other than the small hallway were the pitiful remains of the ninth man.
That's messed up.
That was the 9th man.
Good thing Snake is blind. For a moment, Junpei froze. Try as he might, his eyes would not leave the corpse, and his feet would not leave the floor. 7-2 seemed paralyzed. Snake, on the other hand, seemed unconcerned. Walked calmly down the bloody hallway and only stopped when he realized his companions were not following.
How can you...
Well, do you intend to kill me? I assume you haven't forgotten the door only remains open for 9 seconds, have you?
He hadn't even bothered to turn around. His head was at most slightly cocked toward one shoulder.
Sorry.
Let's go!
Junpei and Seven looked at one another, nodded and threw themselves through the door. Move the microphone a little bit closer. I'm leaning back a little bit. As they did, a cold tone sounded from the left wrists of all three men. Soon and Junpei looked down at their bracelets. On both of them, and on Snake's, a red skull had flickered to life.
Damn it! The countdown started!
They had scarcely processed the information when the doors closed. The metallic slam, the numbered doors behind them swung shut.
The door!
There's no turning back now, and if we don't manage to find the deactivation device...
Hey, where is the dead?
The fear and urgency in Seven's face reflected what all three of them felt.
How the hell should I know? Stay calm. Look around you.
Okay,
Junpei spun around, searching desperately for the dead. He found it easily enough. It was on the wall next to the closed door labeled
found
5.
it! Right here!
As he yelled, he struck the scanner with his hand. The other two scrambled to follow suit. As soon as they finished, Snake threw the lever down.
Whew. Well, it looks like it stopped.
As he spoke, Junpei wiped the sweat from his forehead with a trembling hand.
Damn thing's gonna give me a heart attack.
Hey, man, I would be feeling just as much tension as you guys. The muscle stood out in Seven's neck, and the corners of his mouth were twitching.
Jumpy, are you all right? Are you guys okay?
They could hear anxious voices muffled but distinct from the other side of the door.
Yeah, we're fine.
The detonators have been deactivated.
Snake says. They heard relieved sighs, and even though through the door, the three men could feel the tension disperse.
Alright, we're moving on. Be careful, okay?
Okay.
Sure thing.
Nice.
And they're gone.
They heard footsteps moving away, and before long, they were alone again.
Now.
Junpei looked around.
Doesn't look like we can go any further this way.
The hallway ended roughly 20 or 30 feet from where they stood.
Maybe this wall can be moved. Or not. It's not budging.
Hey, there's a door over there.
To the left, however, was a wooden door that looked positively inviting by comparison. In the middle of it was a plaque that read, "First Class." Classy.
A first-class cabin, huh?
Well, it seems like it.
Let's have a look then, shall we?
Says the blind guy. Resident Evil
All right,
style
then.
doors.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep. Tapping a little bit of a response. I'll be with you in a second. Yeah. Junpei moved to follow them as well, but he stopped just short of the threshold and looked back, not knowing why.
I don't want to look, but...
Yeah? Lying in the small hallway was a man's body, or at least what was left of it. He tried hard to avoid looking at the grisly scene, but it just wouldn't leave his mind.
It's so horrible. I can't even tell what's what.
What had been a man's internal organs now looked like so much vomit, as though something had chewed up and spit out the better part of his torso. One second, I gotta send someone a link. Cool stuff. Alright. Back to the game. Alright. That looked like so much vomit, as though someone had chewed up and spit out the better part of his torso. Hideous, but worse still, it was cruel. It's hard to believe the thing on the floor had once been a human. A black pool of thick blood, the lumps of glistening flesh spread across the floor. The awkward, twisted tangle of shredded intestines. The head wrenched to some grotesque, unnatural position.
He'd been wearing these.
The man's glasses lay next to his head. The lenses were cracked and the frame bent and distorted, and next to the glasses lay a bracelet, the number 9 still displayed on its face.
The bracelet's off. Oh, wait. Zero did say.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. More likely, which is 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or the magnetic mirror's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
The bracelet comes off when you're dead. Oh, but what the hell's the point of getting it off when you end up like this? Oh, just imagining how it must have happened. This was a human. Oh,
Suddenly, Junpei felt his stomach convulse and a knot of muscles gripped his throat.
Oh god. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna puke. Oh, I gotta get out of here.
He clapped his hands over his mouth and ran to the first-class cabin. The atmosphere changed immediately. The room was gorgeous, and despite the apparent age of the ship, none the worse for wear.
Where did they?
He looked around. Seven and Snake were nowhere to be seen. There were 2 doors on the right side of the room. He opened one on his right and went through.
Through here?
On the other side of the door was a short hallway. He jogged down the hallway, opened the door at the other end, and passed through. There they were, to his right, busy examining something.
What's up?
He stepped through the door and walked toward them.
Check this out. We found this thing here on the door.
The red light's on. Does that mean it's locked?
So I would assume.
Is there any other way out?
We looked around a little. Other than this door, we didn't find anything.
So you're telling me that unless we can open this door?
Yes, we won't be going anywhere.
Junpei stepped away from the door and looked around the room.
This looks like a bedroom.
A cabin, as it were.
Then the other room is probably a living room, or the closest you can get to one on a ship.
I don't know. I think that is more of a living room than a lot of people may have.
All right, let's find a way to open this door. Come on, guys.
Seek a way out. Oh. Gives us a nice overhead view of what's going on. So I assume we came in from the door to the eastern side of the northern wall, into the living room area. Passed into a short hallway that appears to have a lavatory, a bathroom, and each of the 2 main rooms has 2 smaller adjoining closets. Okay, looks like in the bedroom we have a... Hold on one sec, I gotta sneeze. Thank you. Okay. Looks like we have a vanity, a canopy bed, a dresser, and a piano. Okay. And various things in the closets that we'll probably discover when we get into this. So many things to examine. It doesn't look like there's a keyhole in the door. True, but there's some strange device in lieu of one. So this is the locking thing. It's flashing red. Usually not a good sign. Is that a microphone? Looks like a satellite dish. Let me see. Well, judging by the feel of it, I guess that we were meant to produce some sort of sound. This device will sense it and unlock. Maybe the piano in the other corner of the room is what we need to use to unlock it. Alright, back. Cool. Wait, we're in the flow of things. I see. Alright. Curious. Alright. Alright, let's check out the little vanity. White desk, feels kind of fancy. Small round chair. Looks like it probably goes to the vanity. Yeah, the thing calls it a vanity, and yeah, okay, whatever. Bed. Bed. Bed with a canopy. I've seen things like this in movies and stuff, but never in real life. Sure, you don't see too many these days. Can't see the details, obviously, but imagine it's one of those princess beds Clover is fond of. Clover wants one of these? Yes. She wants a princess bed. Didn't I say that? You think it doesn't suit her? Yeah, I guess you could say that. Ah, Junpei, judge her by appearances, will you? And well, you should not. That's some awkward grammar if I've ever heard it. Alright, under the pillow we got... Now let's see... A. Score plate A. These are all A notes. Or rests, actually, because I don't think it feels as class. Oh, the lit. Written on the surface? Yeah, it's a sheet of music with a couple of A notes. Just A's? Yeah, that's it. Kind of weird, huh? It took Junpei by surprise. Snake, usually so calm and collected, suddenly began to move. He stared about the room, almost frantically, clearly looking for something. No, Junpei thought, not staring. After all, he's blind. Blind or not, Snake was clearly attempting to do something. At last, Junpei could no longer contain his curiosity.
What's wrong? You got weird all of a sudden.
Snake waited a moment before answering.
I heard something strange.
Something strange?
Ah, well, never mind. It doesn't seem to be anything suspicious. I don't wish to toot my own horn, but my auditory senses are considerably more advanced than those of most humans. I notice even the slightest of noises.
Right. Are you gonna tell me you can hear a needle drop from a mile away?
No, such a thing would be impossible. However, by listening to the sound of footsteps and breathing, as well as sound echoing off the environment, I can locate most objects.
Oh yeah, that's right. When Clover fell on the big staircase a little while ago, you were at her side immediately. So that was...
Yes, I could hear it happen. In fact, I can run quite fast. Certainly as fast as you. And should someone attempt to start a fight with me, I am quite confident that I can defeat them.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Junpei was somewhat taken aback by this revelation. He stared at Snake, skeptical.
You don't believe me, do you? Care to give it a try? I must warn you, you'll no doubt regret it. Well, I suppose that's enough playing around. Let's resume our search, shall we?
Okay. I think we're done with this side of the room. Oh, this is it. Ah yes, you know, that sort of thing is known as vanity. Were you aware of that, Junpei? Of course, vanity also refers to self-love, conceit, and narcissism. As such, you could say that every day when a woman looks into one of these... Don't go there, Snake. Please don't go there. She is staring at her own conceit and narcissism. Doesn't that strike you as terribly sad? Step back, Snake Boy. Alright, let's go look at the... Totally empty. Alright. The lights are lit. Window. There's an iron plate nailed to it. Nailed to it? Or riveted to it? Ah, yes. A piano. Piano keyboard. What is Snake doing? He can't play, can he? Piano. There's something amiss with the keys. You mean it's out of tune or something? No, not that. It's probably tuned. It's just... Which in and of itself, the piano being tuned for as old a ship as this appears to be, would be a little bit weird. The sounds are clearly purposefully different. The C key doesn't yield a C, but rather a different note entirely. The same goes for the D keys. Play some other note. Why do you think it's like that? Isn't it painfully obvious? Zero modified it in some way. This piano, you see, is part of one of the puzzles Zero has set for us. Perhaps if we play the keys in the correct order, something will happen. Classic tree. In other words, we need to play a song on the piano. I believe so. What's this? This isn't a score. Is this a map of the ship? A map. Is a map of the ship here? Yeah. Then I imagine it will prove very helpful. You'd best hold on to it, Junpei. Okay. I'll possibly use the map. The screen. Map screen. The map can only be viewed during the story sections. While on the map screen, you can examine the map of the ship's floor plan, which you will acquire over the course of the story. Left stick and A. Music stand. Might as well put the glass plate on. Something wrong? It's kind of hard to see the notes. If I put something under them. Background for the notes? Alright, well, let's see what we have. This is a high quality desk. Teak, perhaps mahogany. How can you tell? Oh, I have many ways. Or my ways. This fabric feels great. This chair is really comfortable. Let's go to the closet. Oh hey, look, stuff. Leather suitcase. There's nothing inside. You can tell by the weight, and it makes no noise when shaken. Leather suitcase. Unfortunately, there's nothing inside. Hey, more music. Something in here. Yes. Those three are indeed C notes. Feels like glass. A rectangle of glass. Transparent, I assume. I can feel something printed on the surface. What is it? Sheet of music with some C notes on it. Let me combine those. The safe is locked. It's one of those dial locks. It doesn't have a key, we just need to get the dials in the right place and it'll open. Did you find anything, Seven? Nope. How about you, Snake? I also found nothing. Did I miss something? No, just pattern on the floor. It's a light switch. Nothing happens when I press it. It's weird having a light switch. Yeah, outside of the room. Alright, we got a mirror. Can we click on the mirror? And there we are in the mirror. What a pair. A college kid and a terrifying giant of a man in a beanie. Hey, beanies are cool. I will not have you bad-mouthing beanies. They're especially good when you have little to no hair on your head and it's cold. I'm totally in favor of beanies. Stuck in a cramped bathroom. This beast of a man. What will my parents think? Something wrong, Junpei? You look like real sad all of a sudden. No, nothing. Man, some of these comments I'm like, is it just the time this game came out in, which was like 10, 12 years ago? Nothing's coming out. We got the faucet all the way, but I can't hear anything. Testing, testing. It's not a microphone. It's great to see you all in here. I just flew in from New York and boy are my arms tired. Yes, thank you. I'll be here all week. Try the veal. It's not a mic 7. It's just a shower. What? What the hell? Let's see. Also must be putting water in the bathtub. Alright, let's examine this tub. Bathtub is full of water. Is there ash or something in this water? Looks kind of gray. Well, let's just pull the plug. No, hold on. Maybe we can, I don't know, use it for something? Use it for something? Guess we're gonna have to wash something. some toilet paper on the wall here. Nothing looks suspicious. Now let's try the tank. Move. You know what, I'm just gonna use the mouse. How about that? Toilet. Doesn't seem to be anything in the toilet or the tank. I get it, you're gonna use this face, right? You know what, I'm gonna just use the mouse, because the mouse seems to be a whole lot easier replacement for the stylus that was in the original OBS. You just gotta fill this thing with water. What are you talking about? Man, don't you get it? Just grab the vase and take a look around. You'll figure it out soon enough. Yeah. Looks like a vase. Maybe you could use that. Let's go back. Actually, we're gonna go in here, in here. Bathtub's full of gross, cloudy water. Yeah, if we fill the vase up, then we can toss it. Huh? Not really sure what he's saying. Whatever. Just get this vase full of water. A vase full of water. There's a plug on the end of this chain. Alright, why don't we just drain the water? Yeah, good plan. Huh? Sweet. These have Fs. So we have F, A, and C. We have a C or an F major chord. That's alright, we're going back. Suitcase made of leather, the color of rich mahogany. Oh shoot, looks like there's nothing in it. Oh, the suitcase. Dang, nothing in there. Hey, we have G's. So we have an we have an F7 dominant chord. Some sort of antique desk. Makes sense though, I guess. The whole room's full of antiques. You get a nice handful of cash for all the stuff in here. Somebody spent a lot of time carving the legs in this chair. Snap like a twig, F7 sits on it. Mind your own business. Yeah. Junpei. Couple lights on the wall here. It's a chair. A piece of heavy paper folded in half sitting on the table. Heavy piece of paper that's been folded in half. It has a score printed on the front of it. Score, that's gonna mean a musical score. If that's true, then the score we just found is probably in here. At least at some point. Hey Junpei, where are you going? Can we come out of that door? No point in going back there. What's out there are a locked number door and a dead body, or what's left of it. Yeah. Yep, it's on the wall. It's a fireplace. Oh man. There's an iron grate in front of the fireplace. There's something behind it. I'm guessing we need to extinguish the flame with the vase full of water. Got a vase full of water, it's heavy. Can't just throw it at the grate though. Gotta pour the water right on the fire itself. Alright. Let's see one of these two open. Not a lot of people these days with real fireplaces and real fires. This couch looks just big enough for 3 people. Perfect for me. What? Perfect for an elegant gentleman like myself. Sketch looks a lot more elegant. Hey, there's something you aren't saying. Never mind. Okay. Totally empty. The feel of it, the wood must be quite old. White desk feels kind of fancy. Safe with a lock on it. We won't be able to open it until we know the right numbers. Behind the fire. Do what? Come on, it's not hard to figure out. You seriously throw that shit on there. Okay, I'll take this one out now. Another success. That fire didn't stand a chance. Just pull this out now. Don't want to get burned, so let's pull down the sleeves. Score plate. Now let's combine that. Alright, guess we're not doing that. Back. Junpei tucked the plate into his pocket. Seven cried out and stumbled, his balance lost. He got a hand and caught the wall in time to steady himself and avoid the floor, but his face was flushed and he looked startled.
Hey, Seven, what the hell was that? Are you alright?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. I just felt a little dizzy, that's all.
Seven rubbed a couple of fingers across his brow and then shook his head as if to clear it.
What the hell is wrong with me?
The hell is wrong with you?
I'm getting dizzy for no reason.
Memory loss?
Junpei couldn't hide the surprise in his voice. Seven, for his part, seemed unconcerned.
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up. Didn't realize I hadn't told you.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're talking about amnesia, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, why are you an amnesiac? What happened to you?
If I knew that, I wouldn't really be one, would I?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Junpei paused for a moment and then stared at Seven.
Are you telling the truth?
Huh?
Well, you look pretty calm for somebody who doesn't remember anything. If you've really got amnesia, shouldn't you be, like, upset or confused or something?
Well, sure. I mean, I was pretty confused when I woke up down on D-Deck. But that was a while ago. I've had some time to get used to it. After a while, I figured it wasn't worth the trouble of worrying about it.
Sorry, someone just asked me if they should, what my recommendation between two games that I love are, between, Deadly Premonition or Kentucky Route Zero, and oh man, that is a hard choice. I mean, oh man. Two very different things, two things that are both games that occupy a large part of my thought, so I don't know. I'm gonna ask hold on one second, I'm gonna respond. Oop. Wow. I don't. Alright, back to the game. I gave someone some opinions on Deadly Premonition versus Kentucky Red Zero. Both are amazing experiences. Which one I'd recommend depends on how much gameplay and interaction you feel you want to have. Because Deadly Premonition is probably more interactive, but there is something absolutely magical about Kentucky Road Zero. And
After all, why worry about something I can't change?
it is.
Well, people usually don't stay amnesiacs forever.
Oh, I accidentally engaged auto. That was interesting. Yeah, Kentucky Road Zero is probably the game I've thought about most for the past decade. Even though the game has only been out for 7 of the 10 years of the past decade. Anyway, back to 999.
I figure it'll work itself out eventually.
That's it?
That's it. Alright, that's enough talking for now. Let's get back to work.
Alright. 7 gave Junpei a look. The younger man wasn't sure how to interpret and walked away. And turned to walk away.
How are you fine with something like that?
I don't know, Junpei, man. Some people are very, much like characters out of existential novels, shall we say? Like, I don't know if you've ever read The Stranger, but, like, I've met people that are like the titular stranger in the Albert Camus novel. Like, they're just like, huh? You know, any strange thing is just par for the course for them. So, you know, what I'm saying, Junpei, is broaden your horizons. Cool, can I take this thing now? Man, I guess not. I know we're not going in here, man. Alright, we got this thing. Sweet. Now I can play the music. Junpei, would you be so kind as to play the piano? I am unable to. You see. I'm sure I needn't tell you, but the keys on this piano are not what you might expect them to be. C won't be C, and D won't be D, and so forth. You must listen carefully to determine which keys to strike. Oh boy. Do you understand? Yeah. Alright, let's give this thing a shot. Oh man, how good is my ear? I'm gonna embarrass myself on stream. Let's give it a shot. F. No, that was G. E is F, okay. Is A gonna be A? No, A is C. C is D. D is G. Okay, at least they're blacking out the sharps and flats. Yep. Oh man. Alright. What is A? No. Okay. Music is not my forte. Nice music pun. Forte. Hit those skis hard. Junpei, we did it. Looks like it worked. Heard something unlock over by the exit. Let's go. Good plan. Stand, bow, be seated. I guess he hasn't forgotten that. The snake thinks this is funny. I suppose that was the classroom bell, wasn't it? I don't imagine what Zero was thinking of, however. No, Zero must almost certainly meant to suggest Westminster, not middle school. Westminster? Palace in London that plays host these days to the House of Parliament. I've heard of Big Ben, the famous clock tower, yes. Big Ben plays that very collection of notes on the hour. London, the capital of England, huh? At any rate, the door is now unlocked. Let's leave this place immediately. No reason to mess with the piano. We are going back. We are out of here. Alright, let's go. You found it. He came out of the door and into a long straight hallway.
Another hallway?
Paused for a moment and turned around to look behind him.
That should do it.
Someone was bent over, apparently doing something to the door.
What's he up to?
Junpei had spoken more or less to himself, but apparently Seven had heard anyway. The larger man stood up and turned to Junpei.
I was just putting one of those plates in there. It ought to keep the door from locking again. Now we can come back here anytime we want, right?
Ah, why would you want to come back here?
Snake was a reasonable one. I don't know. I think Seven was Seven thought about it for a moment before he answered.
I'd like to play a little piano.
Okay, Seven, that's a bad reason.
Piano?
Come on, let's get moving. We aren't out of this yet.
I'm trying to imagine like Seven in a dive bar in New York totally playing Tom Waits style blues. That's an awesome image.
Well then.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the Nyan Cat meme, but with Tom Waits. What is it? Nyan Waits? It's the Nyan Cat theme as if performed by Tom Waits. I think it's hilarious. Okay. That's a lie, Junpei thought to himself.
I've never imagined Seven playing the piano.
Why not? Can't big guys play the piano?
He couldn't use the piano in there anyway. The keyboard's a mess. But why would he want to leave the door unlocked then? I have no clue. Hey, wait for me!
Junpei frowned, took one last look at the door, and then walked away toward his companions. After some time in the hallway, they emerged into a larger, more open area. Before we continue on, let's see where we are in the flow. Whoops. Okay, we still got some more novel before we need to move on to our next decision. How are we doing on time? Let's see, we are at 1 hour 8 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop here, upload the video, and then maybe carry on. Alright, I'll see y'all in a bit.